What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see back behind me. Been out here all day doing some really interesting testing, and this one right here is yet another one that I'm going down range for. So we got the split jelly contraption going on again with the chrono down here and then the gel blocks down there at 51 yards. So as you can see, I've done a couple tests in these blocks already. I'll leave some links up above if you hadn't seen those, but this entire front half has got a nice big channel that I shouldn't have any problem getting these two rounds into. And of course, as usual, I've got the heavy clothing barrier set up on it with the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt material. And as you can see by this familiar black and silver box, we're checking out some more Defiant Munitions. This time it's their 308 Winchester 168 grain TCX. Now that's their total copper expander. As you can see, brass case with the nice solid copper expanding projectile. This one's actually got a black ballistic tip in it also. And something I always mention when I test this Defiant Munitions is the fact that they always label their products with the velocity and the barrel length. So they're saying 2,750 feet per second. Now that was tested out of a 24-inch barrel, which is longer than both of what I have today. So definitely won't see that. 24-inch barrel with a 1 and 11 1/4 twist is what these were tested from. And now also, like I always mention, I don't have an affiliate link for Defiant, but they are very easy to find if you want to get some stuff from them. And once you get there, I'll leave a code here that'll help you out a little bit. But like I said, I don't actually have anything chambered in 308 with a 24-inch barrel, but I do have a couple of different links here. We're going to start out with the 16-incher with the Scar. It's a 1 in 12 twist on this, obviously 7.62 by 51 chamber. And then for a little bit longer option, I figured I'd use the old Remington 700. I hadn't had this thing out in a while, so I wanted to run a few rounds through it. This is a 20-inch barrel, and I believe this is actually a 1 in 10 twist. So I'm sure we won't hit that advertised box velocity from a 24-inch barrel, but I got a feeling either way, both of these are going to do fantastic down range in the gel. Let me get this stuff set up and let's check them out. All right, let's see what kind of speeds we can get out of these things. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with the Scar first. Now, you're gonna see 6 actual velocity readings from this lab radar. The big number is gonna be your muzzle, and then you're gonna see 10, 25, 51, which is where the gel is at, and then 75 and 100. And being that this is 308, we should get all the way out to 100 on all of them, but let's see what we get here. See what kind of velocities we're working with from this 308 here. .2645. Probably should have adjusted this a little bit. That brake from this thing's blasting right on that radar. 2618. And I'm gonna tell you what, this brake on this Scar is absolutely obnoxiously loud, y'all. It's obnoxious. And we are getting all the way out to 100. I mean, it is obnoxious. There's just no other way to say it. All right, I think y'all saw all the readings there. Let me check that average. All right, so our 5-round average that time, even from this 16-inch Scar, is 2625, which is only, what, 125 feet per second off from what this box says, even from a 24-inch barrel. So I guarantee you a 24-inch barrel is moving every bit of that right there. So not bad at all from a 16-inch barrel. Our extreme spread was 44, and the standard deviation was 17.4. So let me get this reset, and let's try out that 20-inch 700. All right, let's see what this 20-inch does for it. We're gonna do 5 rounds on this one also. I'm not sure where the point of impact is on this. It's been so long since I messed with this, but should be pretty close. Got 2713. And yeah, we almost at the 2750 with the 20-inch barrel. So 2713. 2680. Get myself straight here. It's rocking that steel out there at 100 yards, I can tell you that. That was another 2680. I'll have to check that and make sure. 2708. And how many? Yeah, we still got one, don't we? Yeah, that was only 4, so it must have read that. If I had that happen before, it'd be exact number all the way out to the end. And 26.92, so that was all 5 of them. Let me make sure, and then we'll check out the average. All right, that was a good reading on that one. It's just crazy. It was the same muzzle and 10 feet, and then the other ones were a little bit different, so I know it was a valid reading. But anyway, the 5-round average that time was 26.95. So like I say, not very shy at all of that 27.50, even from the 24-inch barrel. 26.95, extreme spread was 33, and the standard deviation was 15.5. And if you remember out that scar, it was 26.25. So you're talking about 70 feet per second faster from the extra 4 inches of barrel. So not a whole lot of difference when you're talking about 308 like this, but both of these rounds I got a feeling are going to do fantastic in the gel. Let me reset this and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's 308, ain't nothing but great jelly time. I'm gonna put 1 round from each barrel length into the gel, starting with the scar here first. Now I was forewarned on this, that if I tested these under 100 yards, that I could probably expect some pedal separation, so we'll see what happens. Now keep in mind, this is at 51 yards down there, so that's what you're gonna get on the chrono, is the 51 yarder, down below that is. Now this right here might get a little sketchy. I'm glad this is the last test because I'm not exactly sure where my point of impact is with this scar at this distance. All right, I believe that was a good one. Let's go down there and make sure it didn't come out the side. It just about knocked it off the table. All right, y'all, I should have known the last test of the day was gonna give me a hard time. That actually went in perfectly placed and curved out right about halfway, or pretty much at the end of its travel, but I think it went into the second block anyway. It curved out the side, so I'm gonna try another one down there. I can tell you right now, things are liable to get ugly now, because that was really where I needed that to have the space to get this other, or get the next round in there. But let's see what I can do with this. Whew, I mean, it rocked that thing. It slapped that jelly around. I think I went close to the same spot even. Let me go see what I got down there. All right, we're good on that one there. We actually caught the projectile. Now, it went almost in that same hole, but it is separated, and I'm fine with it because it's the same round, the same barrel and everything, so we can see what we need to see. Now, this one right here is going to be very, very tricky to get in any kind of place that's going to work out right, but I think I've got a place picked out. Let's see what happens. I also put some towels and stuff behind at the end down there, because that last one nearly made it out both blocks, y'all. And there went the gel block off in the dirt. Let's go see if I at least caught the thing. All right, y'all, let's check out what we got down here. It looks really messy, but just hold your horses. It ain't as bad as it looks, and I'll give you some different angles. You'll be able to see everything that went on. The only thing that's really gonna be just almost impossible to separate are these two from the scar, but as you can see, they both did almost exactly the same thing. I mean, they look nearly identical. As you can see, they both had separate entrances here. I'll show you when I pick you up, but had totally separate entrances, so they formed their own tracks and wound channels and everything. But they're so close, it just looks like one big one. And boy, is it a big one. I mean, this stuff just came in here and went crazy. Immediate expansion, no doubt about it. Just incredible disruption right here in wound channel. Now, the first one is going to be the one towards the bottom here. And then you can see it went into the second block. It did actually shed a little bit of material right there, kept on going, and went out the end right here. And if you'll look, this one down here at the end, that's actually the second one from from the scar, believe it or not. It went that far from here all the way over there. So as you can see, the one went out here. This one from the scar probably went another, I would say 3-4 inches. So this one didn't have a whole lot. I would say if it stayed in, just judging from the wound channels, it would probably got nearly identical penetration. And then the second one from the scar, like I said, it's right behind this other one, a little bit above and behind, but I mean, it's basically in the exact same spot, maybe an 1/8 of an inch away, 1/4 of an inch maybe, but it goes in here and this one starts curving up like here, curves up, goes into the second block, comes on through here, keeping on rolling, keeping on trucking. Now that wasn't there before. That's the one out of the R700 we'll look at here in a second. So no kind of interference there. It just keeps on rolling, and there's a projectile down there. And now I can tell you that there's a little sliver of copper right there, but that's all I can see, I think, as far as material loss. If I look back through here, I believe that's the only little piece of copper that we lost, but we'll be able to tell once we pull it. And then the one from the Remington 700 is actually in a perfect spot, but it's directly behind this, so pretty much impossible to see. But what it does, it carries through here, and then it actually kind of keeps going behind that other scar, and then it crosses over here, and there's a projectile right there. Definitely not as much penetration as the ones out of the scar, but I can tell you right now, the expansion on this thing is absolutely incredible. So as far as the penetration on these, the one from the scar that went out actually exited right at 26 inches, and then the one from the scar that stayed in stopped at 30 inches. So you were 4 inches shy. Now, did that get an extra 4 inches because it was so close and had a little bit less resistance? Maybe, but I would say either way, you could split the difference, and that's about where you're gonna be. And then the one here from the Remington 700 is at exactly 22 3/4. And I'm just telling you, I cannot get over how expanded that thing is. So here's your little closer look. As you can see, there's the two scar entrances. I mean, they couldn't have been no closer without being in the same hole. Just massive disruption. I mean, look at that disruption. That's incredible, y'all. Keeps on trucking. Like I said, the first one right there, you can see a piece of material, and boom, it pops out right there in the side. And then up here, that's the other one from the scar. You can see right there. I don't know, it might be missing a pedal there on the bottom. We'll look and see once we pull it, but if we follow that one back, it kind of disappears at a point, because there you see it, it joins back in or really close to this other one. And then we'll go from the top for the Remington 700. It's this one right here. So you can see it comes in, very, very nice disruption, just absolutely incredible damage. Keeps on trucking, and then down there at the bottom, that's it, kind of still spiraling, very, very nice spiraling action still. Pops into this second block, and then it kind of goes up across and under where this scar is, and then you can see it right there. I mean, if that ain't expansion, I don't know what is. All right, y'all, let's check out these projectiles. This one right here is from the Remington 700. That thing right there is absolutely incredible. Look how big that is, y'all. It's hard to even, I mean, I don't even have anything to reference it, but that thing is absolutely incredible. I mean, that's just incredible stuff. Now, this one here out of the Scar 17, it was just as good. Now, it did lose a pedal, and I actually think, now that I was looking in those tracks, I think this is actually the pedal that it lost. I thought this was stuck in the gel down there. I thought this was the one from the first one that went out the side, but I think that's the one out of the second one, off of this one right here, that lost the pedal. And like I said, Pete from Defiant did tell me that I could expect some pedal loss if I tested these less than 100, but I'm gonna tell you right now, even from that 20 inch, I mean, you barely had any kind of loss. There might be a few crumbs in there, and even this right here, that right there is nothing to me. For 51 yards to be going that fast with that energy and just to lose that pedal, I mean, I think these are some fantastic projectiles. Somebody definitely got this one figured out. But let's measure these things and see what they did lose. This one is from the Remington 700. Like I say, I can see a couple little specks here. It started at 168 and it's at 166.8. So yeah, if it lost some, it was just a couple little crumbs. Now this one here from the Scar 17, again, started at 168. Now this one definitely lost some. It's down to 148.2. Now if we do add this back, I'm just just curious. Yeah, then we jumped to 165.4. I'm pretty sure this was part of that one right there. Now, as far as the expansion, we'll check this one from the scar first. It's going to be very uneven. This long way between the pedals, you got 720, and then measuring across here where you lost the pedal, you got 390. So definitely lost some size losing that pedal, but you still got the size the other way, and that thing was just a spinning away in there. Now, as for this one out, the Remington 700, that right there is 943 and 962. That right there is absolutely incredible expansion for a 308, y'all. That's just incredible. And there you have it, y'all, the Defiant Munitions 308 TCX. These are some absolutely phenomenal rounds right here. I'll just go on to say these might be the most impressive 308 rounds that I have tested to date. I haven't tested a lot of 308 yet. I have quite a bit more to test, but as far as I can remember, this is easily by far the most impressive so far. You got incredible expansion, incredible penetration, absolutely fantastic disruption and wound channel in that gel right there, and they mostly held together even at 51 yards. I mean, going any further and you're going to hold even better, so you probably wouldn't get any fragmenting at 75 to 100 would be my guess. But either way, that little bit doesn't mean much to me, because like I said, in my opinion, these things are absolutely phenomenal. All right, y'all, I'm gonna call it right there for what I think was an absolutely incredible 308 performance. There's really nothing else to say about this stuff. I personally think this stuff performed absolutely amazing, y'all. The penetration, the expansion, the energy dump, wound channel, this right here is some sure enough 308. Now, I will say, personally, 308 is one of my favorite rounds as far as getting up into a little bit larger stuff once you pass 5.56. I think 308 is a do-all caliber. I personally don't think there's anything that a 308 can't handle. 99.99% of stuff that people are going to run up against in this entire continent. When I see that kind of performance from the good old 308, it just makes me wonder why we need any of these other fancy name calibers. You can keep your Creedmoors and your Legends and your Hammers and any kind of other fancy name you want to put behind the number, because this 308 right here will get it done, buddy. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think about the performance from this stuff out here today. Do any of y'all run any of this? Do you use some other solid copper round? Do you use something else in 308 for hunting? Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got them notifications on so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Take a second if you're doing some shopping and check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy after going through any of those links down there, I get a kickback from towards the channel, so I really appreciate that. Now, as far as this Defiant Munitions, like I say, I don't have a link for them, but it's very easy to find them if you want to check them out. And like I said, I'll leave a code that once you get there, it'll help you out with some stuff. Once again, I appreciate all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all out there for supporting the channel the way y'all do. I had a lot of fun out here, got some really interesting testing done, but I am war slap out. I don't know how many hundreds of yards I've walked back and forth out here today doing these longer tests, so I'm gonna pack my stuff up and head on out of here. Y'all be on the lookout for a lot of good stuff headed your way, and in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.